Hey, all right, guys, welcome back. We are talking about what to do when you are faced with a fiction text, a short story on the STAAR test. And the first thing that I did, and the first thing I always do with a text, is ask myself about the title and the text features. So we looked at the title, we looked at the text features. That gave us an idea of what this is about. So the next step, of course, is let's read this story, man. It's a pretty cool little story. As I read, I do a couple of things. And here's the thing. The first thing I always do when I read is I summarize the text over here. And so just as I read, I put a few words here and there that let me know what's happening in this text. The second thing I always do is I want to track these characters. Sometimes texts, they throw a lot of characters at me. I need to keep them kind of separated. So on this side over here, I track my characters. And I track them, by identifying L2s for my characters. In other words, what are some traits, what are some associative ideas that come to mind when I think about the characters that I meet here. So here's the story. Sometimes I'll read this all the way through, and then I'll summarize while I'm reading. And then the second time I read it, I do my characters and L2s. That's probably the best way to do it. In fact, with this story being so short, I might recommend that if you get a really short story like this on STAAR, that you just read it twice, man. It takes no time. Summarize to make sure you understand it, then get those characters L2s, because those are going to help you on the multiple choice. What I will do for the sake of this video is I'm going to show both. I'm going to model both. So I'm going to read a section, summarize it, then we'll pick out some L2s for some characters as we go. So check it out. Usually the first paragraph is really important, especially in a story this short. If the story is this short, they got to get a lot done in the first paragraph. So watch this, watch this. As I read, follow along with me. The country is India, okay? I've got my setting right there, India. A colonial official and his wife are giving a large dinner party. They are seated with their guests, who are army officers and government attachés, and their wives, and a visiting American naturalist in their, look at this, spacious dining room, which has a bare marble floor, open rafters, and wide glass doors opening onto a veranda. Now, my house does not look like that. My house does not have a spacious dining room with marble floor and wide glass doors. You want to know the difference between me and the colonial official? Yeah, homeboy has money and I don't. So what's happening here? They're having a dinner party and they have a lot of money. So rich people are having a big dinner. Now listen, you're probably saying to yourself, hey guy on the video, I know that. I don't have to write that down. That's obvious. Yeah, I know you know that. But listen, this test, it's long. You're going to get tired. Your head's going to get tired. You have to do little tricks to keep your mind engaged. And one little trick is to just jot down what's happening as it happens. And the reason that I do this is so I will remember it better if I write these things down. So just keep that in mind. You'll remember it better if you write these things down. Okay, there was an interesting word here. So they had the wide glass doors opening onto a veranda. I do not know what a veranda is, but it seems kind of important. So I'm getting up. I'm walking. Picking up my dictionary, I'm walking back. And here we are. I'm going to very quickly, because I can do this on STAAR, it's totally allowed, I'm going to really quickly look up the word veranda. And I'm using my little guide words here at the top, and I know that on this page, all the words are between visibly and, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but you get where I'm going with that. Okay, if I back up, let's see, ventricose to verdin. Yeah, so veranda is on this page. Zoom in, look down, veranda is here, zoom in. Look how long that took. That took not long at all. Dude, you have time to do this on STAAR. So if you look at veranda with me, remember they were describing the house. So a usually roofed open gallery or portico, a portico is a porch, attached to the exterior of a building. Okay, so the big glass doors open up to like an outside like porch or an outside area. Okay, so the veranda is outside. So that seems important. And here we are back together. So the veranda is like an outside porch. Again, a big one with a roof over it. Okay, cool. Characters, L2s. I see there's characters here. I know the colonial official and his wife are rich, but that's not really an L2. I want to know about their personality. So let's keep going. A spirited discussion springs up between a young girl who insists that women have outgrown the jumping on a chair at the sight of a mouse era, and a colonel who says they haven't. Okay, so there's an argument going on here between a young girl and a colonel. Oh, look, dialogue. Let's see if this is the argument. A woman's unfailing reaction in any crisis, the colonel says, is to scream. Really? So, no matter the crisis, a girl screams, is what this guy is saying. And while a man may feel like it, he has that ounce more of nerve control than a woman has, and that last ounce is what counts. So, girls scream, but guys don't because they have more nerve. Okay, we'll come back to our colonel in a second, but what's happening, just very briefly, there's an argument between who? A young girl and a colonel. That's what's happening here in those couple of paragraphs. I know actually something about the young girl and the colonel. The young girl, now I can put an L2 for her, and I always want to do this, so I'm keeping up. The young girl thinks that girls don't scream. They've outgrown that. So if somebody thinks that people have like progressed or moved on past something, they are progressive. I think that's a good word for her. But what about old Colonel here? Look at this guy. Colonel. What can we say about him? He says that women scream no matter what the crisis is, and men don't. This dude, I can't put jerk. I want to put jerk, but he's not a jerk. I will say he is being sexist, right? He is favoring one of the sexes, male over female, when it comes to courage, right? Anyway, all right, cool. All right, I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to turn it over to you to finish. So watch this. Now watch this next couple. This is going to be a good exercise here. Watch this. The American, new character, American, does not join in the argument, but watches the other guests. As he looks, he sees a strange expression come over the face of the hostess. She is staring straight ahead, her muscles contracting slightly. With a slight gesture, she summons the native boy standing behind her chair and whispers to him. The boy's eyes widen. He quickly leaves the room. Okay, the American sees this happening. Oh, wait, let's look at this next one. Of the guests, none except the American notices this or sees the boy place a bowl of milk on the veranda, which we know that's the porch outside. He places the milk on the porch just outside the open doors. Okay, hold on. What just happened here? So the American notices something that no one else sees. So the American, another guest, notices the hostess do what? She gives a command. Her muscles contract slightly, and she summons the servant boy, and she gives him a command about putting milk outside. So the American notices the hostess give a command to the servant. You can copy this down with me. And what does that tell me about this American? Well, for one thing, nobody else saw it but him. So he's not in the argument. He's watching. He notices. So I'd say he's pretty observant, man. This American. Okay, that shows me he's observant. That shows me that, well, back up here. The hostess, another character, what does he notice about her? That she's staring ahead. her muscles contracting slightly, and she tells this boy something that his eyes widen, so that concerns him. So she's probably concerned about something. I have the evidence for that is the muscles contracting and the boy's eyes widening. She's concerned. I wonder exactly what this milk is about. As you continue to read now, you're going to do those exact same things. I'd like for you to continue to read and summarize on the left-hand side here. Just a few words to remind yourself what's happening. Do this. It will keep your mind engaged. You will understand the story better. And over here, we've got our characters. As these characters do stuff, tell me what L2s, what associative ideas, what idea words and character traits come to mind over here. And so jot those other words down here. Those are going to help you on the questions, I guarantee it, whenever you're forced to answer those multiple choice questions. Okay, cool. Summarize, L2s for characters. It's all good. Go.